Good morning, guys. Thank you for coming to pick up your supply kits if you did that yesterday. If you didn't pop up to school and get your supply kit yesterday, you can go ahead and go get that kit today. The building will be open again from 10 to 2, and they will bring the supply kit out to you. So you can go ahead and go up there and grab it. Otherwise, you will have to plan on popping up there next week. So thank you to anybody who did go grab the supplies. If you're in my painting class, you got a simple paint set. They are in a variety of states. Some of you got one that's like messy on the inside. I didn't clean these off because this is still paint and you can go ahead and use that in your painting. So if your paint set has some paint inside, today is actually the perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and use some of that paint, because we're going to do some art play today and make a journal page. So today is all about using whatever supplies you have. Those supplies might be a newly picked up paint set. They could be the colored pencils that you already have or had at home. It can be markers. It can be just pencil. It can be some collage. You can use the sketchbook. If you made a sketchbook, you can go ahead and use the sketchbook you made, or the sketchbook that you've been using for class. You can also use the new one. So this video, it's going to go out to all of my classes today. Everyone's assignment today is the same. But this is an example of the painting one sketchbook. And it is folded paper. And so you get to decide now how you're going to use this. Obviously, because it's not stuck together, these sheets are going to separate. So I can decide if I want to try to keep it as a book, or if I want to use it as a stack of sheets, knowing that I'll use both the fronts and the backs. So you get to decide now. It's your book, it's your supplies. You get to think about how you want to use it. But like I said, we will use all of it on both sides throughout the course. So you can kind of think about that. But if you want to use this paper today, that's totally fine. Absolutely acceptable. If you want to go ahead and use, if you made a sketchbook or whatever sketchbook you had been, or notebook you had been doing some of your other work in, that is fine too. You get to decide today what you're going to use as a surface. I think I'm going to use this this little sketchbook here. I was hoping I could make it be bigger, but today your challenge or assignment is to just make a journal page. So it's to kind of play around with the materials that you have and to explore them, and to maybe include some collage elements, right? So I have this bird that I drew on graph paper, and maybe I decide to include that in my page. I do happen to have a glue stick here, so I could go ahead and glue that in at some point if I decide I want to. I also got like this magazine in the mail, and I kind of like some of the words in here. I think it will be interesting to kind of play with some of the text, right? Like, we're all in isolation right now to sort of help protect society, right, from everybody getting sick and overflowing the hospitals. And so that's kind of a fun thing for me to add in to my sketchbook. So it's kind of interesting for you to play with, you know, can you find some words that you find inspiring in junk mail that came to your house? or an old magazine that you have sitting around. Oops, I cut the S off. So here we go. I'm gonna cut some of these words out, and I'm going to kind of play around with a couple of things, and I'm going to show you a couple of techniques. I knew I wanted these words. Don't be afraid to draw in your sketchbook, even if you think that you're no good at drawing. So I am going to start out just with some paint, I think. I have too many of these paint sets sitting here. I'm going to start out with some paint. If you guys bought or went and got the watercolors at school, go ahead and feel free to use them. We'll talk about watercolor next week. Next week, all of our lessons will be with the idea in mind that you all have paint now, so you want to keep that in mind. So you can see that I put a little water in the blue, and now I'm taking some paint, and I'm going to kind of bring it out here onto my page. Color crayons are kind of fun sometimes with watercolor. The paint doesn't stick. So that's kind of something you can think about using as well. Thinking like blue sky. And now I'm wishing I had used my white piece of paper, but it's okay. So I want you to play with shapes. I want you to play with colors. I want you to think about what you can do in your sketchbook, and just have it be, you know, fun. Play around a little bit. Scientists have discovered that 45 minutes a day of making artwork, even if you're bad at it, is good for your mental health. I think that we all need to make sure that we're staying sane right now while we're all staying home, right? So I have a little bit of blue. Hopefully you guys can see that there on my page now. And now what I'm going to do is just take a marker, and I'm going to kind of play with the idea of a window. And this is you. You get to play. You get to do whatever you want, whatever comes to mind. I am thinking about the idea of home, right? And that it's a safe space right now. And so I am drawing the window here in my studio. You can see that I wasn't careful about keeping my marker out of the wet paint. And I'm just going to continue to kind of play around with this idea. I like this. It says a different view. So I'm going to try to decide where I'm going to put that on here. And I'm going to kind of keep playing around with some color. I can also use some of the color out of here. So like this is like this weird murky gray color. No idea where this came from, but you can see that as I put some water on this like messy paint tray, I'm going to be able to use some of this paint to add in I don't know what I'm up to here. Maybe the idea of window trim out here, outside the sky. Or just maybe some stripes. But like I said, play around, give your paints a try if you went and picked up paint, collage. This obviously is going to take me longer than I want my video to be for you today. So I'm going to keep working, but I'm not going to make you guys watch me keep working. But you can see I'm just going to start playing around with some shapes. Decide I want a dark rectangle to glue my words to. So I'm going to glue. I think I'm going to glue that on there. Maybe I use some more of this gray to do a couple of birds. And I just keep kind of playing around with what this should look like, knowing that it's going to take me a little while, and it'll probably go through a couple of changes before I decide that I'm finished. So if you didn't go get your supplies, please run up to school and grab your supplies. Miss Alton is there today. She said that she would be happy to run your supplies out to your car. Supply kits are not huge or heavy. And so if you don't have a car, you can definitely still pick them up. Walk, bike, run, jog up to school. And you will be able to take those kits home in a backpack or even just a grocery bag, or walk holding it. They're not gigantic by any stretch. But like I said, today your job is to kind of play around and make a journal page. And we'll do this a lot throughout the class. This idea of just making artwork and exploring your own personal thoughts and visions. So there is no wrong answer or right answer for this today. Just have fun. Play around with your supplies. Explore what you can do with just some simple supplies. This totally works no matter what kind of supplies you have at home too. You can do this if you've got glue stick and junk mail to add in. You can do this with just a pencil and a marker and a pen. All you need is pencil and paper. No mistakes. Just go ahead and play on the page and have some fun. Oh, we don't have school on Friday, so have a great weekend.